Looking good, brother. Looking good. Yo, what's up everyone? I hope you're doing extraordinarily well, and today we're going to be taking a little bit of a deep dive into how I recreated NOLLY GETGOOD'S ABSOLOMB bass tone from Periphery 3. Special shout out to my incredible friend Zach Munowitz for performing this part. He absolutely crushed it. The tone was on point, the attack was on point, the playing was on point. Zach, I love you. You're the best. Thank you so much for providing me with the footage and the playthrough. The first plugin in this chain is SPL's Transient Designer Plus to bring out some additional pick attack in his playing. And the key here is to get a solid attack that's going to feed into the following compressor. The following plugin in this chain is the BX Townhouse Bus Compressor. The key here is to have a ratio of 10:1, a semi-slow attack, and set the release to auto. I found that the auto setting does a really great job of being able to read the transients that are being fed into this compressor. Typically with the BX Townhouse, you want to get anywhere between 4 to 6 dB of reduction, and then introducing about 4 dB of makeup gain. Following the compressor, I introduced an instance of Parallax X from NeuroDSP. The goal of this plugin was to get as close to the original ABSOLOMB bass tone as possible. So I set the low compression to 85% and then set the low pass to 120 Hz, followed by setting the low level to -2.8 dB. And then I engaged the mid distortion, set the mid drive to 35%, with the mid level being -10 dB. The goal of the mid distortion was to bring out that gnarly grind in the mid range. And then I set the high drive to 65% with a high pass of 213 Hz, while setting the high level to -7 dB. I want there to be a perfect balance between the low end and the high end, while having the mid-range complement the aggression of the low end and high end. With the mid-range, it's really important not to push it too much, because that is really easy to do, because who doesn't love an incredibly powerful mid-range heavy bass tone? Personally, the equalizer in Parallax X is where the real magic happens, while keeping the low shelf at its default state, boosting a touch of 250 and then decreasing a touch of 1000. And following this, I pushed the high shelf to its max. The one really great thing about NeuroDSP's Parallax X is the cab section, because it's powerful and it offers unparalleled tone shaping flexibility for modern bass tones. The cab section also ensures a mix-ready bass tone with depth, clarity, and punch, making it an essential tool for both studio and live sessions. So the two mics that I used in the cab section is the classic Dynamic 421 comboed with the Ribbon 121. I find that the Dynamic 421 does a great job of bringing out the best characteristics of the low end, with the Ribbon 121 bringing out the best characteristics within the 700 to 1.2K range. And to further shape this bass tone after Parallax X, I introduced an instance of FabFilter's Pro Q4. With this plugin, I introduced a high pass at 27 Hz to clean up some of the subs, and then I did some subtle notching between 268 Hz and 2.1K. These were subtle notches to get rid of unnecessary frequencies that weren't in the original bass tone. And then I cleaned up some harshness between 3.3K and 4.9K, while boosting some highs at 5.7K and 6K, with the final move being a low pass at 6.8K. Notching specific Q frequencies is crucial for achieving a cleaner, more controlled bass tone, because it helps eliminate muddy, boomy, or harsh resonances that can clutter a mix. Following Pro Q4, I pull in an instance of Space Designer, which is a stock Reverb Logic Pro X plugin. And this is a really interesting trick that I actually picked up from NOLLY himself, which is selecting the 0.3 second wooden booth IR and then blending the wet signal into taste. with the final plugin being the Pro L2 from FabFilter. With this plugin, I incorporated a preset that you can find within Pro L2. You can find the Bass Limiter 1 preset here. And the key here is to push the gain to where you get anywhere between -0.2 to -0.5 dB of reduction to control some of the excessive peaks.